I have a 7-year-old son named Warren. Every day, he comes up with new questions for me.
Dad, why do we dream? Dad, why do people cry when they are sad, but also when they are happy? Dad, how much does the earth weigh? How do planes fly?
Learning is fun! Today, let's explore and learn together! Warren, go wash your hands before you eat.
Dad, I washed them earlier.
Earlier is not good enough. Look at your hands, Warren. Do they look clean to you?
Why do I need to wash my hands all the time?
If you clean your hands, I will tell you a story. You will learn why we should have good hygiene.
Yay! Thank you, Dad.
One of the most famous pandemics in history was the Black Death that killed over 1/3 of Europe's population between 1347 and 1351. Long before the disease spread to the West, Europeans had heard rumors about a dreadful disease that was rapidly wiping out populations in the East, spreading across China, Mongolia, India, Persia, and Egypt. In 1347, when 12 ships arrived at the port of Messina in Sicily, people saw a scary sight. Most of the sailors were already dead. Those still alive were covered in black boils that oozed blood and pus. The mayor ordered the ships to return to the sea, but it was too late. From there, the disease spread quickly. People who were infected had fever, diarrhea, severe belly pain, and their skin would turn black, with bleeding pustules. The disease was so deadly, people could go to bed looking healthy at night and be found dead in the morning. Now we understand the responsible bacteria is called Yersinia pestis, which was passed to humans by rat flea. Back then, the sanitary condition was so poor, rats were everywhere. This was the perfect stage for Yersinia pestis to spread. In the pandemic, people noticed the Jewish population got sick less often. We now understand it was because they had rules that promoted good hygiene, such as you must wash your hands before eating bread and after using the bathroom. So now do you understand why we need to have good hand hygiene, Warren?
Yes, Dad, that was a great story. The Black Death sounds really scary.
It was terrifying for the people who lived through it. But now, as we look back, the Black Death changed European history in an interesting way.
What do you mean, Dad?
Well, before Black Death broke out, Europe was overpopulated. Labor was cheap. Farmers and laborers had no bargaining power. They had trouble feeding themselves with the low pay they got, and had little hope for a better life. But Black Death killed so many people. All of a sudden, there was a huge labor shortage. Now people had to rely on inventions to increase productivity. The new inventions required more skilled labor. So more people moved to the cities and engaged in crafts and trades. The more successful ones became richer and now formed the new middle class. This new middle class stimulated an explosion in arts, science, literature, and philosophy. We now call this explosion the Renaissance. This was a very important period. Maybe we'll talk about it in the future. Without the Renaissance, our world today would look very different.
Speaking of inventions, I learned about Thomas Edison today. He was a great inventor, right?
Definitely. Good inventions help make our lives better, and Thomas Edison invented many good things. He didn't invent the telegraph or the light bulb, but he experimented and made practical improvements on them.
So what's an invention that made our lives better, Dad?
How about the toilet?
You're funny, Dad.
A lot of the most terrible diseases in human history, like the bubonic plague, cholera, dysentery, had to do with the crowded and poor sanitary conditions people lived in. Sick people's stool might contaminate a water source, and then the whole village might get sick. In London, the famous Thames River was once a dark brown color and smelled terrible because people dumped their poop and pee freely into it. In the middle of the 1800s, tens of thousands of people died of cholera due to Thames River's horrible pollution.
Oh no!
About 1800 years ago, the Roman Empire was ravaged by two back-to-back plagues. They were called the Antonine and Cyprian plagues. People had high fever, diarrhea, and pustules erupted in their skin.
Yersinia pestis?
We don't know for sure, but most historians believe there were smallpox outbreaks. In the span of about 100 years, close to one-third of Roman Empire's population died. Even the emperor probably died from it.
A third of the population died again? Like with the Black Death?
Yes. Back when we had poor hygiene and no modern medical care, many people would die during a pandemic. Similar to the Black Death, these twin plagues also changed history in a way that formed the world we live in today. Before the plagues, Romans worshipped multiple gods and spirits. Less than 0.1% of the population were Christians. But within one generation of the end of the Cyprian plague, Christianity had become the dominant religion of the Roman Empire.
Why?
The smallpox vaccine was still 1600 years away when the twin plagues hit the Roman Empire. There was basically no cure for the people who got it. But taking care of the sick still helped them survive, like providing them with food, water, and a place to sleep. In this aspect, the Christian church did a much better job than others. They were more organized and more willing to help. As a result, Christians survived the plague better than others. Many people who received their help and survived became Christians. In addition to that, the twin plagues disproportionately affected young and pregnant women, so the fact that Christians survived better also meant a higher birth rate for the Christian population. All these factors caused a huge shift in religion in the Roman Empire, which affected the history of Europe and the world from that point on. This brings us back to the invention of toilet. Do you see why the invention of toilet was important, Warren?
So we can keep our environment clean and have less spread of disease?
Exactly. Having an efficient way to get rid of our wastes helped prevent the spread of disease. In Roman public bathrooms, people sat on stone seats with holes in the middle, and their poop would drop 12 to 13 feet into the sewer system below, where a continuous stream of running water would carry the waste away. They cleverly designed the seats so high above the sewer system, no splash could reach the people sitting on the stone toilets. The flush toilet was invented in the 18th century and became popular by late 19th century. Warren, can you think of other things that would also help decrease spread of diseases?
Like medicine?
Yes, having medicine like antibiotics definitely helped us in our fight against diseases. And even simple things we take for granted today, like having clean water to drink and wash our bodies with, help a lot. So remember what Mommy told you. Wash your hands before every meal, please. This is even more important today because of COVID. If your hands carry coronavirus and you use them to rub your eyes or even pick your nose, the virus can find its way into your body and make you sick. Got it, Warren?
Got it, Dad.
A lot of people voted to hear about the coronavirus vaccines, so our next episode will talk about that. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.
Here's my joke of the day. Why are fish so smart? I'll give you some time to think. 3, 2, 1. Because they live in schools. Thank you for watching. Please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons below. You can turn on the notification bell if you wish to be notified when our next video comes out. Thanks.